Came YN. My heart skipped a beat when my name was being called. I saw that the candidate who went inside before me came out, and finally it was my turn. I picked the file of my documents that were resting on my lap and stand up. I was nervous more than I thought I would be, but I have to do it and I can. It's my second interview and I hope I would pass it, because if not, it would be the end of my freedom in life. Without wasting a second, I walked towards the interview room and met the lady who called my name. She was at the door. I don't know why I felt so awkward and passed her an awkward smile. But right now, I'm so nervous and don't know what I'm doing. Carefully grabbing the doorknob, I took a deep breath and exhaled before opening the door and went inside. I came inside, forcing a soft and professional smile on my face according to me, but I don't know how I must be looking. I greeted the panel and walked towards the chair they asked me to sit on. Almost 6 of them were sitting in front of me, and I assumed they were directors and other high-position people, but then one of them got my attention a little too much because my heart literally stopped when I saw him. If I didn't come here for the interview, I would have hid myself somewhere or would have just ran outside the room, but unfortunately, I can't do that right now. He was only looking at me and I could see a slight smile on his face, but I lowered my eyes. So Miss Kim YN, this is your second job interview till now. One of them finally started and you gave a nod. Yes, it's the second time I'm giving an interview. Can I ask what happened in the first one? It wasn't long ago, so I guess you didn't work there. Yes, actually, I didn't pass the interview. He nodded, and one by one they started to ask questions, but that one guy among them was only looking at you and you were nervous. You found out that he's the CEO of this company, and if you qualified for this interview, you'll be his personal secretary. Alright, your performance was quite impressive. We'll let you know about the results. Thank you so much. You stood up and bowed, but you didn't forget to take a look at him before leaving the room. She seems to have the potential. Others agreed along with Jungkook. Let's call the next candidate. You came out of the room and hid your face behind the file. Oh God, why you always show the wrong person at the right time? Now I know what's going to happen. I'm not gonna get this job as well. Ugh, I hate my life. You were tensed because the CEO that was inside the room was no other than the guy your father chosen for you to marry, but you wanted to establish your career first, wanted to do something, and also you've never seen that guy before, so you told your father that you won't marry him. But obviously he didn't listen to you, so to put an end to all that, you ran away on the day of your marriage. And it got cancelled. It was all over in the news, but dumb, you later found out that the guy who was your groom no other than Jungkook. One of the richest and wealthiest bachelor heir of the John family. Girls can die to marry him, but unknowingly you rejected him, but later regretted it. And now you are seeing him for the first time in your life after 2 years of that incident. You were sure he would take his revenge, and even if you have a chance to get the job, he would never want you to be around him. Cursing your bad luck, you left from there. Two days passed and you didn't hear anything from them. You were scared to work for Jungkook, but more than that, you were scared of your father because this is your last chance, and if you didn't make it, you have to listen to him as promised. You poured yourself some water in a glass and sat on a chair when you got a notification on your phone. You casually picked it and checked, but it was an email for your job confirmation. Eventually, you froze for some seconds, couldn't believe that you were seeing this email for real, but soon started dancing in happiness on the occasion of getting the job. But then you stopped. You knew for whom you are going to work, and that was a little awkward. I shouldn't be scared. It happened 2 years ago. He might have forgot and moved on. I'm just overthinking. You again checked the mail with a big bright smile and then called everyone to let them know that you got the job. Jungkook took a sip of his wine and smiled while your resume was in his hands and he was looking at your picture. Though I don't believe in destiny, but I guess it again brought you to me. Get ready to finish the work that you left in the middle, Miss Kim Wyan. He smiled and emptied the glass of wine before closing his eyes. The smile was not leaving his face as he was the one to suggest the panel that you should get the job. Standing outside the room of his office, you were mentally preparing yourself to go inside. Although you have had mixed emotions when you walked inside the office, employees greeted you as the new secretary of the company. Everything was so new and exciting for you, but here you stopped. You took a deep breath and finally opened the door before walking inside. As you walked in, you didn't see him immediately but could hear his voice. He was on the phone while the back of his chair was facing your side. You stood there waiting for him to end it because you are still not sure what you have to do because it was your first day at work. Okay, I'll call you later. He ended the call and your heartbeat raced when he finally turned his chair towards you. An unreadable smile on his face, but it didn't ease your nervousness. Hello, Mr. John Jungkook. I'm Kim Wyan, appointed as the new secretary of this company. He nodded and stood up, sliding his hands inside the pockets of his pants. It's very nice meeting you, Miss Kim Wyan. Your performance was impressive, so congratulations for the job. You smiled awkwardly and bowed a little. Thank you. I have received your schedule this morning, so can we start with this? Yes, sure, but I think we have some time before our first meeting, right? You surprisingly looked at him and nodded. You thought it would be you to tell him, but the previous secretary already sent a copy to him before you, so Jungkook was already aware. This is a little unprofessional, but I have to say something. You were intrigued but nervous. Still, you nodded. Sure. I think we have met before, didn't we? That's the other thing that it wasn't in person. You looked down while he was looking at you with a soft smile on his face that was slightly visible. I want to apologize for that. I'm so sorry that I ruined everything like that, but I didn't know that it was you. You paused when you realized what you were saying and you could see Jungkook raising his eyebrow. So if you knew that it was me, you wouldn't run away. He waited for your reply, but you didn't say anything because of course it was true. After finding out that the guy was John Jungkook, you literally cursed yourself and regretted for months. I would love to know more, so let's continue this topic later. We have to leave for the meeting now. Yes. The former secretary was also in the office, and there were some things that you needed to learn and know about this job, so it was his duty, and you had a meeting with him as well. The whole day was packed with meetings and work, and you didn't get the time to talk about that topic again, but you have realized that this is the life you always wanted. Being the secretary of the biggest company wasn't easy, and working for it was even harder. But you were so happy. You have got so much recognition and attention in such a short span of time. Your life completely changed and Jungkook wasn't like how you thought about him. Now you truly regret rejecting him, but if you get a chance again, you will never let it go. Jungkook stopped the car in front of your apartment building. Is that where you live? He said, looking at you while you gave a nod along with a soft smile. Yes, thank you so much for the lift. He just nodded. You removed the seatbelt, but it wasn't coming out. You tried a few times, but in the end, Jungkook leaned to your side, making you hold your breath. He unbuckled the seatbelt and looked at you. Seeing him this close to your face, your heart was literally thumping inside your chest. You both had an eye contact for some time, but then Jungkook realized how nervous you were, so he pulled back. The atmosphere became so awkward. I'll go. Good night. You opened the door and came out of the car, but forgot to bring your phone with you. Luckily, Jungkook noticed it, so he gave it to you. Were you planning to leave it here? I'm sorry and thank you again. He smiled and then you both bid goodbye to each other. Smiling on your own, you walked inside the building. There's a meeting in Japan for that. We have to leave this Tuesday. Jungkook finally shifted his eyes on you. Are you free at this moment? You looked at him confused. Free in the sense, I have to attend a meeting with employees and to monitor a shoot. Do you have work? Jungkook nodded. Yes, but finish your works first, then I'll tell you. You nodded and then checked the time, and that's when the project manager knocked on the door. He came inside and looked at you. Ma'am, everyone is gathered in the meeting room. I'm coming. He left while you grabbed your stuff and looked at Jungkook. I'll be back. He nodded while you left. Then Jungkook leaned back on his chair and sighed. This time, will you accept it if I confess? Jungkook was planning to confess his feelings for you. Earlier, he only saw you and fell in love. He approached your father through his dad and they gave him his words, but you ran away on the day of marriage. He was sad, but if it happened again, he will be sadder because now he's spending time with you. He's liking each and every part of his life at this moment, and he realized that loving you at first sight was always a good decision. After the meeting, you came to the set where the shooting for an advertisement going on, but there was something you were not liking about it. Their acting wasn't good enough. It looked so blended, so you asked to stop it. You guys are not acting in a romantic drama. Show some bold expressions because it's for a fashion brand. You replaced the model for a minute and started to show your hidden modeling skills. Jungkook also came there and he was watching you calmly until you put your hand on the male model's chest. Though it was a part of the shoot, but he felt so jealous. Somehow he was controlling himself but wished that it would end as soon as possible. The guy seems to enjoy it because ever since you joined in, you have become the crush of so many males in this company. That's how you should be doing it, understood? Ma'am, you are doing it better. Would you like to give it a try? A blush appeared on your face as you shook your head. I'm fine without it, but I hope now you know what to do, you said, looking at the model who nodded. Then your eyes fell on Jungkook, so you walked near him. You came here to check the shoot? He gave you a cold look, letting you know he's jealous right now. I came here to see you. Don't you think you were too close to him? He walked ahead while you were speechless, and then with a soft chuckle you followed him. You both came in the office and Jungkook wasn't talking to you, and you know the reason as well. Are you not talking to me just because I acted in that shoot? He didn't reply, so you walked near him. Correction. You are jealous because I was close to that model, and your breath hished when he suddenly stood up so near to you that you were about to fall back, but he caught you. So you were doing that on purpose, huh? To make me jealous because you know I would be? You gulped, you were in his arms at this moment and the position was so awkward, but then he made you stand properly and step back while you looked down awkwardly. I'll check the emails. You went to your desk to avoid the awkwardness while he also got a call. A waiter came and placed two coffees on the table where you and Jungkook were sitting. He picked a cup and gave it to you before grabbing his cup. Thank you. What do you think about Mr. Robbins' proposal? Should we accept the deal? I think we should. They are known for their great projects and we will get to learn a lot about campaigns and all. He nodded. And what do you think about me? You looked at him confused but soon realized. About you? In what sense are you asking? He leaned back without taking his eyes off of you, in the same sense that you are thinking right now. A shy smile appeared on your face as you looked down. If I again ask you to be my bride, will you run away? You felt a little embarrassed, but also when he said his bride, you felt your heart beating fast. I'm still waiting for you only from that day. I knew that we'll meet again in the future. You looked at him. If I have known that the guy was you with whom I was getting married, I wouldn't run away, but then I had to prove myself, my worth. There were some dreams I wanted to achieve. Then why did you say that you'll not run away if you knew that guy was me? You took a deep breath and take a sip of your coffee. You know that I have admired you since I was in the university. We often used to get your example as the most hardworking youngster who achieved so much in such a young age. I always wanted to work under your guidance. Wouldn't it be a dream come true if I get married to you? He smiled a little. Okay, so that was the case. Well, nothing has changed now. You already achieved that dream with your abilities. Maybe that was God's will, but now we can get married, right? It was a clear proposal. I don't have any problem with that, but I would still love to maintain my status, to be the secretary of this company. Sure, I promise you I would never interfere in your professional life as a husband. You were speechless. How can someone be so understanding and mature? That's one of the reasons you have admired him since the beginning. Then let's do it. Let's get married. He chuckled, seeing your excitement. Right here? And your cheeks turned pink when you realized how excited you got.